And welcome in to Tennessee Tuesday. It's Tuesday, March the 17th, St. Patrick's Day, and looks like my guest tonight, Mike Beck, me or him, are not wearing our green. So somebody, Mike, is going to pinch us this evening.
Oh, well, that's all I can say.
Well, welcome into the program this evening. I'm John Blankenship, your host. My co-host, Jason Boshears, has a SCB camp meeting tonight, so he is away this evening. Mike Beck is our guest this evening. We're going to be talking about the Tennessee Division reunion, which is coming up a month from now in April in Morristown. We'll break down all the details on that tonight, and also many of the activities that are happening at the General Longstreet Museum there in Russellville. We'll talk about that, and it's going to be a busy time coming up in April, and I know Mike is very involved in all of these projects and aspects of the things to come, and we'll be breaking that down for you this evening. But before we get into the discussion tonight, let's go ahead and share our disclaimer tonight. And the views and opinions that you hear on this broadcast are entirely and solely our own, and not the SCB or its GEC or any division, brigade, camp, or other group. It's solely our own opinion tonight. So we are glad you are with us for a Tuesday evening. Again, St. Patrick's Day, and we will have a little tribute to one of our favorite Irishmen, General Patrick Claiborne, tonight. We've got a little something special we'll share a little later on this evening. Also, some other things that have been going on. Of course, you may have seen the video on our Tennessee Tuesday Facebook pages as well. A new video that's we released was up at Elm Springs and General Headquarters on Saturday. And me and Jason took a tour around the property and talked about the rebuilding, I should say, of the Forrest equestrian statue at the gravesite of General and Mrs. Forrest. We kind of did a walkthrough of the property and how that's going to look. So if you haven't seen that video yet, it is on the Tennessee Tuesday Facebook page. Make sure you go check that out, and that will be on our YouTube page a little later on too. And I think you'll find that informative about all the great work that's happening at our general headquarters. So let's give a shout out tonight, Mike. There's several folks that are joining us that are watching, and we want to say hello to some of those ones that are with us this evening. Elliot Jackson, of course, you know Elliot. He's joining us here tonight, one of our regular viewers. Also, my friend Derek Glover in Jamestown. He's been traveling. And again, he is here with us this evening. Chuck Roydhouse from the General Hatton Camp and the Macklemore Brigade is checking in with us this evening. Chuck, hope you're doing well. Also, Al is joining us from Tullahoma tonight, and he's always a regular viewer. Lots of folks already on this evening. Johnny Jenkins is joining us too, so a shout out to him up in Missouri and the fine work they do up that way. And a little further south in the Alabama division, Ryan Rogers with us tonight. We're glad he is on the show this evening. Also, a shout out to Daniel, who is a regular viewer here of Tennessee Tuesday and all the SCB chat programs, and we appreciate him. A couple of others we want to say hello to. David Daniels, of course, from Gainsboro, SCB First. He's exactly right. And David has been very active in bringing in some new recruits to our division, and we appreciate all the work he does in the genealogy world. Mr. J.R. Price saying happy St. Patrick's Day from the Ike Stone Camp in Henderson. Saw J.R. on Saturday up at Elm Springs, and good to see him and the work he continues to do. Also, Ryan McDonald with us this evening there from Carthage, Missouri. Hope he's doing well up that way. Our Lieutenant Commander of the division, Mr. Rich Garcia, saying hello tonight. And also in our neighboring state up in Kentucky there, Division Commander Kyle Thompson. Saying a little Rocky Tops. I guess he's a big Tennessee fan. So I hope Kyle is doing well this evening too. And I also want to say hello to one more, Mr. Randy, who is the camp commander there in Union City at Camp 176, and appreciate all the work they do there. And we'll be checking in with more folks as people come on tonight and are going to be learning about our Tennessee Division reunion that's coming up in April. And Mike Beck is our guest. He's a past Tennessee Division commander. He has done pretty much every position, I believe, in Tennessee along the way, and he knows how it's done and how to do it right. He served his 3 terms as a division commander. So if you have 3 terms, Mike, you must have been doing something right.
Well, I don't know, but I appreciate the men give me the opportunity to serve an extra term during our sesquicentennial event, which we had continuity with our elected politicians across the state, and we partnered with them very well at that time. And once again, I appreciate the men letting me have that 3rd term to have a good sesquicentennial event in the division. Thank you.
Absolutely. And Mike, when we first met, you were being sworn in. I believe it was in Union City. Was that your 2nd term, or was that your 1st term? Maybe I think it was your 2nd term.
I think it was the 2nd term was the first time you and I met. And I could see the fire in you then.
Well, I appreciate that.
The passion that you have for our Confederate ancestors. And I appreciate you serving, stepping up. And we need more good men within our division to step up at the camp level, division level, and so forth and so on.
Absolutely. That's always a challenge to get folks to get in a leading position and leadership position, but there's plenty of places for you to serve. If folks are looking to do that in the division level, I can find a place for you. There's many things that we need, and folks have expertise. Mike, as you've seen in your time, we've got people with different talents, and we want to find a place to use them and let them be a part of it.
That's the hardest thing to do is you've got a job description of how this organization runs, and connecting that person to the right job descriptions that we need. And those of you that are thinking about it, I encourage you to step forward, whether it's on the camp level or talk to our division commander, John, about something, because we need you. We truly do. And this division has been blessed with several division commanders through the years. And please, men, let's do not lose this continuity, this brotherhood, camaraderie that we have, because we have a great division, and be proud of it. And I appreciate everybody. Thank you for everything you do. It's all of us together.
That's right. Well, Mike, let's jump into a little conversation tonight. We'll kind of break this down a couple of ways. And let's first talk about the Tennessee Division reunion. And then it kind of all works together at the same time. The General Longstreet Museum, we'll kind of break it down there, some things that are happening there too. But the Tennessee Division reunion is coming up in April, just a month from now, April the 17th and 18th. It's going to be in Morristown there. Might kind of break down briefly here where it's going to be held at and what folks need to do if they haven't registered already and would like to come.
Well, and I appreciate, Commander, that you bringing that up, because the location of the Tennessee Division reunion will be at Morristown Landing. That is on the west side of Morristown. It's a newer construction. And those of you, you can Google it, look at it. It's called Morristown Landing. And I don't know if John's got a picture of it or not someplace, but he's looking around for that. But anyway, I recommend you take exit 4 off of Interstate 81. Like, it's not that far past the split if you're coming from Middle or West Tennessee. And from exit 4 over to the facility, we might be talking 5 to 8 miles, and it's all 4-lane. It's all 4-lane over to this new area in west side of Morristown, and that's where the hotel is located at, across the railroad tracks from this new facility, the Morristown Landing. They have meeting rooms or conference rooms. They have a wall climbing area. They have a track. They have a pool, pickleball. It's an all-inclusive event center for Morristown and Hamlin County. And this will be a great facility. And the convention rooms are separated from the main body of the building. So those of you, I know a lot of people come in early or stay late.
Sure.
And go sightseeing and take in the amenities that we have. So those of you that's not done your research yet, I suggest you look into Morristown Landing, you look into some other the amenities or attractions in our area, and make a mini vacation out of it. I know some people bring their families or hesitant to even bring their families, but this is a kid-friendly environment. If your wife or kid want to come, there's things nearby to do. And above all, we're about 45 minutes to an hour outside of Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area. And I know some people come up for that. So where I'm going with this, I encourage the membership across the division, and as well as some of our fellow compatriots outside of division, come and be a part of this great event as we dedicate this monument. And I've got breaking news, John.
Hey, I like that kind of. Give me some good news.
Okay. If you notice in the application, we had the deadline of March the 15th.
Yeah.
Okay. The powers to be here, we've looked at this, and we're going to extend the deadline at $75. We'll keep that $75 up until March the 31st. And the reason we want to do that, how many times you've been to a reunion and have a monument dedication?
That's true.
Okay. And you and I know that there's been people sitting on the fence or procrastinating. Hello, raise my hand for some of that. So we want to give everybody as much time to do this and be a part of this historical event for our Confederate ancestors, for the Tennessee Division, and for the Longstreet Museum.
And that's right, Mike. And again, if folks want to go get this application and still send it in, they can go to our division website, TennesseeSCV.org. That application, you click on the top bar. There is a link there for the division reunion. You can get all that information about the host hotel for any rooms that are available there. TennesseeSCV.org. All those details are there. And Mike, let's kind of break down for our viewers tonight that are maybe have already planned or still on the fence whether they're coming. What does the schedule look like starting on Friday night?
Okay, Friday night will be what we call our meet and greet event that we normally do, but it will be located at the Longstreet Museum for those that wish to come and view the property, the museum, and to see what your donations have went towards. Like I say, we own this property. SCV has control over it, and so guys, think about that. This is not an outside organization. We have control over it. Our destiny is in our hands, as they say.
And let's be clear with that, Mike, so folks know it has its own association. It's nonprofit that owns it, manages it, but the board consists mostly of Confederate Friendly and SCB members.
That is true. When we came up with this concept idea, some of the camp members talked about, hey, we need to do more. We need to do this. Just like the charge, basically. And so this property came up for sale. Now, this is back in 2006, men and ladies, if there's anybody listening out there. So some of the SCV members of Bradford Rose and some businessmen got together, and we purchased it. I went and met with the owner, and with a handshake and $3,000, got it took off the market until we could organize the Lakeway Civil War Preservation Association, LCWPA, or Longstreet Museum. Now here we are at 2026, and we're still around. And this is huge for all of us. And we create our own.
It looks like you dropped off there, Mike. Can you still hear me? I lost your video and audio. But we'll continue along and see. Hopefully Mike will be back with us here in just a moment as we continue on Tennessee Tuesday. And we'll go ahead and take our next break here in just a moment. And Mike jumps back on. We'll pick up our conversation where we were talking about the Tennessee Division reunion, which is coming up here in April. And it looks like Mike is back. Mike, I see you're back with us. So we'll jump back into that conversation where we were.
Technology, guys, technology. Hey, you've heard me preach. We got to embrace this technology, and I'm trying my best, man. I'm trying my best. So bear with us. We'll get it there.
Well, always good. So we're talking about, as of course, that Friday night, Mike, it will be the kind of meet and greet, and that's going to happen at the Longstreet Museum. So this will be your real good chance to tour the museum and kind of see what it does.
Yeah, we want you to come and tour the museum, and you can ask more detailed questions and look at our wish list as we grow and develop the property and interpretation of this. So, yes.
So Friday night, that time folks need to start arriving there at the museum is what time, Mike?
It's really whenever they come in, because I know everybody's travel time is different, and I'm not sure about the time they posted, but I think it'll probably run up to about 7 or 8. I'm not sure.
Okay.
We'll have more clarification on that, but then those people that can't make it in or won't, so we'll try the registration packets be picked up that morning prior to our business session.
Well, let's kind of jump into Saturday, of course. We'll get started there. We'll kind of have an opening ceremony, right, Mike?
Yes. Yeah. We'll have our open ceremony, the flags and the welcomes and stuff like what we normally do, at which time I figure it'd take approximately about 30 minutes or so. Then we'll turn everything over to you, John.
Absolutely. It's going to be a good time. And then we'll have the business session, which is open for Tennessee Division members, and SCV members can be in that session, but everyone else will leave during that time. And there's other stuff, as you said earlier, that those folks that may be a guest with their husband there or family members can go do during that time. And then, of course, there will be a boxed lunch I know you've got prepared, correct?
Yeah. At a lot of these events, we've all experienced working lunches and stuff. And sometimes different places had tours and different events going on. So what we decided to do is just have everybody that registers, sends in your registration stuff. That's part of the package. You'll get that box lunch. And we can, depend on our timetable about things, you can either eat it there on the property or take it with you or save it for later or not get it at all. I mean, it's an option, whatever y'all want to do. But the reason we decided that is create more flexibility in the overall event and experience for our members.
And especially because we do have the monument dedication, which is going to be at 2:00. And I'm going to show that graphic of a picture of the property there on that Saturday afternoon at 2:00. So once that business session is done by noon, you grab your food and you can go ahead and make your plans to head on over, which is about a 20-25 minute trip between.
Yeah, depending on the traffic flow, it's probably about anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes from Marshtown Landing to the Longstreet Museum there in Russellville.
So, of course, when you get there and arrive, that I know we've got, and Mike, we've talked a little bit about, and we may not say a whole lot about tonight. There has been a bus tour planned that was included in, but we're still working out some details there.
Yeah, we got some more details to work out, but as of right now, the bus is still on deck to be there, and the bus will send me will probably have about 52, 56 seats.
Mm-hmm.
So, what I would like to know between myself and Jordy and Josh up here, if anybody has any disabilities or anything, we need to know that to make sure you have a seat. What I'm trying to say.
Sure.
Because a lot of people can carpool from there up to the site. So, and that's the only reservations that I'm looking at for certain people that we can try the best to accommodate within the physical restraints of the bus.
And you really need to know that your team there really needs to know. And you kind of like to know if they're going to come on the bus tour and ride on it or they're going to drive themselves. That would be good information for you probably in the next week or so to kind of know.
You can start filtering in to myself, Jordy, or Josh. And like I say, it's a regular tour bus.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't have a lift. It doesn't have bigger doors. Just a regular tour bus. And but we'd like to accommodate some of those people. And other than that, it'd be first come, first serve as far as seating goes.
Sure. So that'll happen at 2:00. That's going to be a good afternoon. Mike, kind of what's going to happen on site? How long will folks be there? How long is the ceremony going to last?
Well, what we blocked out basically 2 hours from 2 to 4. Now, it can be extended like that a little bit longer, but that's kind of what we've laid out. We'll have some dignitaries to come in and speak, some people that's really been good to us and helped us in the development of the Longstreet Museum. A couple of Saturday goes, I think you may have saw the pictures. We put up our big tent and we poured the concrete on the pedestal. That's still standing with all the high winds and the snow and the rain.
That's a good sign. That's a good sign.
That's a good sign. So, we're like anybody else. We're sprucing up the properties and stuff and trying to put on a good presentation for our viewing guests and fellow
Mike, let's see. We got a question here. Chuck Roydhouse is wanting to know, is there handicap parking at the Longstreet Museum site?
We do have a small area on site for that. And it is posted as well. And it's right there in right next to our welcome center and in kindly to the side of the museum as well. So you're right there. And we will plan on saving that area for the people that need this. And part of it's gravel and part of it is a grass area for the people that need special parking.
Well, again, going to be a good time on Saturday afternoon. Mike, after we're done there, you can come back and relax a little bit and get changed to get ready for the evening banquet and award ceremony. And
yes,
have we decided on the time? Do you have the time ready?
I think they talked about it before and may have posted about 7 o'clock or something like that. I think it's already been discussed. And that's what we're going to try to roll with what we've already posted. Because we're trying not to crowd the people out and leave them time to enjoy the museum and give them plenty of time to freshen up before we do our banquet and stuff.
All right.
And we even talked about,
we'll be back at the venue where we're back in Morristown.
Yeah, we'll be back at the venue, and those that drive or carpool can come get the cars, go straight back to their hotel. Then the bus will come and drop everybody off, and they can disperse from there and come back for the banquet.
Well, it's going to be a good time, Mike. Looks like you guys have got a good event planned, and it's going to be a busy weekend. It'll be fast paced because we're moving around in between a couple of sites there. So it's going to be busy and lots of stuff to see and do.
This is something unique for the division, and I know I've talked to Jason and a few other fellow compatriots to try to get a handle. Has anybody else done something like this or similar to this?
Mm-hmm.
And it appears no, that we're kind of the first ones that I'm aware of to try to have multi-event into one huge event overall. Yeah. And plus the monument dedication is free. We're inviting like-minded people in the community, and those of you that's listening tonight, let other people know about it that may want to come by and look at the monument and check out the house as well. And that's kind of where we're at, just trying to make it available to like-minded people and people who care about our heritage.
Well, Mike, I think it's going to be a good time. Again, TennesseeSCV.org you can go to, and you can get your registration sent in. You still got a little time to do that and get that mailed in, or reach out to one of the team members there, which is Jordy Barnett, yourself, and Joshua Cameron, correct?
Yeah. And I've got a few little things. Also, on the ancestor form, since we've extended the deadline to the 31st, if anybody wants to do that or adds, we'll make room. We will make room for that. Don't want to leave nobody out. And also, Commander Jordy wanted me to remind some of you people out there, the agriculture award that the division puts out. You can go ahead and place your order for now, and you can do your pickup at the reunion.
That would be a good way to do it. That'll save on postage while you're there. Get it taken care of.
Yeah. And that's one thing that Jordy and I talked about earlier, is put this announcement out to our fellow compatriots that's interested in this division agriculture award. Place your orders now, contact him or wherever, and you'll be picked up at the reunion.
Absolutely.
And once again, everybody that sent your stuff in, thank you. We appreciate it. And had pretty good turnout. And I've talked to some of the fellow compatriots, and I know people are sort of scratching their head. Well, that might be a little far and snaky for me, or I don't know about the price or about this. Hey, guys and gals, I'm going to tell you, we've cut this to the bone and try to make it so affordable that anybody can come and do this because of this monument dedication. And we just want you to come and be a part of it. That's the best way I can say it.
All right, Mike. Well, it's going to be good. We need to do this. Let's go ahead and take a break, and you're going to hang around with me. We're going to come back after our first break, and we want to talk a little bit more about, of course, the General Longstreet Museum. We'll show a few photographs, some of the work you've done on the monument more recently. We'll go through some of those photographs and talk about that. Should be good discussion. If you'll hang around with me, we'll be back here in just a few minutes. All right, Mike Beck is joining us this evening. We appreciate Mike being here with us tonight. And let's go back to that graphic there, a little change in the software. Again, thank you for watching Tennessee Tuesday. It is Tuesday, March 17th. I am John Blankenship, your host with you tonight. We do need to say thank you to our show sponsors this evening. We couldn't do this without our fine folks that have signed up as partners with us. You can see those Patreon members that are scrolling on the screen now. So if you haven't joined as a Patreon member, you can do that with 3 different levels here, or actually 4 different levels you can go. You start out with $2.50 as the entry level per month there, and that's the Feed a Moose level. You've also got the Chathead level of $10 a month, as well as $30 for the merchandise level. You'll get some things sent to you, or you can become a show sponsor for $80 a month. Again, go to scvchat.com and you can learn more how you can join and become a show sponsor here at Tennessee Tuesday on SCV Chat. Also, you can check out our new website that is still under development. Right now, it's going to take you to our past episodes on our YouTube channel by going to TennesseeTuesday.com, TennesseeTuesday.com. TennesseeTVision.com. You'll be able to see past episodes such as the one we're live with tonight, and previous ones are available again on TennesseeTuesday.com. We do want to say thanks to our show sponsors. Again, you can be one of these for just $80 a month. Dr. Chris Cummings sponsors our program. Modern Medicine and Southern Hospitality. Dr. Cummings is known to be a specialist in knee pain. So if you're dealing with that, he can take care of you there. Again, he's in Oxford, Mississippi, and one of our show sponsors at Tennessee Tuesday. Also, 31st Engraving. You see the products on your screen there. That's just some of those different items that they can make and provide for you and customize too. You can check them out online at 31stRegEngraving.com. Also, another one of our show sponsors is Larry McClooney, past Commander-in-Chief Larry McClooney, in his new book, Paradox of Freedom, A History of Black Slaveholders in America. He is now making those copies available, and there you can see him at one of his recent events selling copies of that book. Again, booksbylarry.com. You can go and learn more and pick up your copy, Paradox of Freedom. Also, Beauregard's Taylor, a family business driven proudly, offering authentic War Between the States reproductions. You see T-shirts there as well, lapel pins, and more, crafted with exceptional research and unmatched quality. Again, check out their website to learn all the products they offer at Beauregard'sTailor.shop. That website again, Beauregard'sTailor.shop. And finally, the museum at Market Hall. It's the home of the Confederate Museum since 1899 in Charleston, South Carolina. Got to see that museum at the National Reunion just a couple of years ago when we were in Charleston. Their hours are Thursday through Sunday from 11 until 4, and if the flag is out, they are open. The museum at Market Hall, one of our sponsors here at Tennessee Tuesday on SCV Chat. I'm John Blankenship again with you for about an hour tonight. We'll be coming back right after this break. We'll be talking with past Tennessee Division Commander Mike Beck, who is hosting the Tennessee Division reunion this year in Morristown. We'll have more information about that again. And we'll also be talking about the General Longstreet Museum, and we'll tell you more about that right after this.
Was your great-grandfather a traitor or a patriot? Today's politically correct are trying hard to take away the heritage of the brave Confederate soldiers who fought and died for their land. But one thing is certain, they can't change history. Those Confederate soldiers were fighting for the same reason soldiers fight today. They were fighting against homeland invasion. We believe that the desecration of the bravery, patriotism, and honor of those men should not be allowed. They were outmanned and outsupplied, but they were never outfought. They were proud men who believed in fighting to protect their dignity, their homes, and their families. If you're the male descendant of a Confederate soldier, we'd welcome you to join with us in the preservation of that heritage. We're the Sons of Confederate Veterans. Check us out on the internet at scv.org or call us at 800-MY-SOUTH. That's 800-697-6884. Sons of Confederate Veterans, dedicated to preserving the reputation of men like Robert E. Lee, Stonewall Jackson, and your great-grandfather.
When my mother was in college, she danced with Confederate veterans. To me, it wasn't that far away. My father knew this. My mother knew this. Almost 50 years ago, I joined the Sons of Confederate Veterans. In those days, we weren't concerned about saving monuments or any of those things. That wasn't necessary. In fact, none of us had any remote idea that it would ever come up. We can't just sit there and react. We have to be proactive. Or, as Robert E. Lee said, the best way to disrupt your enemy's plans is to strike first. Everyone should do all in his power to collect and disseminate the truth, in the hope that it may find a place in history and descend to posterity. History is not the relation of campaigns and battles and generals or other individuals, but that which shows the principles for which the South contended and which justified her struggle for those principles. If you're looking for some place to be where you think you're going to accomplish something to save our history, go to the Sons of Confederate Veterans. I'm Thomas Lee Jesse. I'm a descendant of Private Daughtery Gilmer, a Confederate veteran.
And welcome back into Tennessee Tuesday on SCV Chat. I'm your host, John Blankenship, with you this evening, and my special guest is past Tennessee Division Commander Mike Beck. And Mike joining us this evening from his home in East Tennessee. And we're getting ready for the Tennessee Division reunion, which is coming up a month from now in April. And we've been talking about that event and also the monument dedication that will take place at the General Longstreet Museum in Russellville. And Mike, let's continue that conversation if we would tonight. And let's talk a little bit more about the General Longstreet Museum. And I'm gonna kind of let you lead here. Do you want to talk about the monument first, then the museum, or kind of what order do you want to go?
Well, let's talk about the monument.
Okay.
That highlight that we want. I remember how this all came about when Jordy, our camp commander, with all the monuments being destroyed and everything, it tugged at him, hurt his feelings, and he was wanting to finally figure out, what can I do, to honor the charge.
Yeah.
And he come to me about he's wanting to try to do something with the monument, and I committed to him. I said, Jordy, if you raise the money, I'll find you a place on the property to put it. So he's done it.
He's absolutely done that. He's been working on it, I know, and
several years
along the way for 5 or 6 years now. I know we've been working towards this. And when he was on with us, we'll talk about his dedication. He didn't give up till it's happened.
No, you got to give it to him, buddy. I tell you, got to give it to him. So, but the thing of it is, this encompasses everything who we are as SCV members, with the charge to interpretation and education and preservation. This cover all the bases for generations to come. And that's why we talked about it and wanted to extend the registration and the memorial ads and stuff to get more participants involved in it, to say, hey, this is a big deal. Stop and think about it. And those of you on the fence, okay, from Nashville, it's just about, say a 4-hour drive. From Charlotte, North Carolina, about a 4-hour drive. Marietta, Georgia, about a 4-hour drive. Or places, the Confederation needs to come to this, as they say, and it's free. Then the other thing we've done to enhance this is we've opened up the banquet to like-minded people as well. That's a $75 rate that evening. To interact with SCV members, UDC and OCR, to learn more about our heritage, do a little recruitment at this as well.
Absolutely.
And that's why I look at that, and we're hitting all the marks. I feel like that we've took the baton of obligation as SCV members on that part of it.
Well, Mike, let's look at a couple of pictures tonight here, and I've got one to share. This one you sent to me just a little bit ago. It's getting a good look at the museum and and we'll look at some closer pictures of the monument base, but there's the new base that you guys have put up for the soldier.
Yeah, if you see the blue tarp, we just poured the concrete about a week or so ago. We've pulled all that off and dressed it up a little bit. And in the background, you see the Ninny home, which was used as General James Longstreet's winter headquarters from December the 23rd of 1863 to about the 28th or so of January. We found the document where they actually paid the Ninnies rent. I mean, that was the beehive of activity at that time for the 1st Corps of Army of Northern Virginia for Longstreet and his command. It was so much happened inside that home. It was a dark time for Longstreet. He had a birthday. He tried to resign. He was trying to, logistic-wise, he was trying to get food, clothing, and stuff to his men while they were billeted in Russellville, Marshtown area during that winter. I mean, and it's also one of the hardest winters on record. And you'll get to experience that. You'll actually see and be able to walk on the floors that the general and his staff walked upon in that home. As far as the architectural features are pretty well still intact. We have some of the original Italian ornate architectural features that were over time were repairing and reproducing, putting back on the house at the time that the general and his staff were there.
Well, Mike, something interesting I learned the last time you were on us, and you gave with us a little more history about the house. the view we just saw, and I'm going to put that picture back up here. That was originally the back side of the house. At one point, the house was turned. Something was turned, correct?
Yeah. Okay. Here's the story. What you're seeing in that photograph is when the house was remodeled in 1925, 1926, because present day Highway 11E, that's when it was constructed. So they took part of the backyard of the Nenny family, that's who lived there. And you see that wing of the house to the left. That part of the house was actually attached to where that front porch is in the photograph.
Okay.
So basically, the state of Tennessee come in there and said, guys, you need to either move it or we're going to tear it down with the right-of-way that they were taking. So they detached it and rolled it around on logs and reattached it to the other side of the house. The house that you see there, that's the I house part, is probably constructed in the 1850s. The older part of the house, which is in the left part of the house, was, we know, in probably the late 1820s. The earliest deed that we have is 1836, but we know through records that the Nenny family had the home prior to 1836 when it was registered in Jefferson County Courthouse.
Now, Mike, that oldest portion there of the house, is that a log structure or is that a frame structure?
It's all frame. The only logs under the house, like I say, under the house, the sleepers that supported, and but everything has been sawmill lumbered locally, because Patrick Nenny, that came in here with a land grant, he was part of the Bent Creek settlement, a nearby community called Whitesburg. And he, like a lot of people, they invested in land. The Nennies were into timber, land, cattle, just like what people are today. And as they prospered, they expanded to the house as the family grew, and they were pro-Southern.
Was that considered a fine house at its time, Mike? Was that a large house for that area, or where does it stand there?
Yeah, it was a fine house at that time. We look at it today and it's modernized, and we don't see that. But you go back at the 18.
Yeah, in those early times, again, Mike dropped off with us this evening. In those early times, again, a very important structure in that area. And you'll get to see that on a Saturday, of course. And then again on Friday evening, Mike Beck with us then. He dropped off video a little bit there. So it happens. It's part of it. It's part of technology. That's what makes it fun and exciting. It's always something new. But Mike, we're talking about that house there, and that being a more, maybe, was it a higher end structure? Were they wealthy? Was the Nenny family wealthy?
Overall, they were pretty comfortable. They had some business in timbers. They run some sawmills. One thing that we found out by doing the research, the nearby stream was the industrial engine of the community of Russellville. And they had like 4 different ditches and sluice to harness the water of Fall Creek to run the industrial complex, as we say, of downtown Russellville. There's actually a gunsmith shop, a saloon, and the Nennies were also invested in some of that. We found records where the people of the community were suing each other over debts and property, just like what happens today. Nothing's different other than the technology.
Yeah. So neat property. So at the time when Longstreet had his headquarters there, did the Nenny family, they still own the property? Where were they at during this time?
They owned the property, but the family moved out into other relatives nearby. The son, Charles, he was actually the depot agent in Russellville at the time. And the Nenny family also invested in the East Tennessee Virginia Railroad, which was completed prior to the war in like 1855 when the railroad was completed. So plus Charles also was the depot agent. So they were into a lot of things and making money, just like what people do today.
Absolutely. Well, Mike, let's talk a little bit more about what the museum is. We know that Longstreet had his headquarters here, and I'm going to share your website here, which is longstreetmuseum.com. And Mike, tell me a little bit about kind of how you got it to where it is today. When did the Preservation Association take control of it? When did it become a museum?
Well, like I said earlier, we obtained the property in 2006, and ever since then, we've been working off to pay the mortgage and do the development and do educational and preservation interpretation. And we partnered with the Tennessee State historian, Dr. Carol Van West. He also brought some of his students. A lot of the information plackets inside the building were partnered through him with some grant money through his means some years ago. We've actually had international students there from nearby Carson Newman College and some other, I'm trying to think, maybe another college, LMU, different places. So we've sort of been a destination for people to come to this region. You see original artifacts from the region on display from my collection as well as other people's collection. For a lot of you people out there may not know this, but I'm a relic hunter. I love taking a metal detector and digging the stuff up. It's one thing to read the history. It's another thing to go out here and actually dig it up out of the ground to tell the story. So I feel like as being blessed to find artifacts, it's also a responsibility to share this with the public. So, give and receive here to educate a lot of people with the struggles of our ancestors and the technology of that time.
Absolutely. Well, again, longstreetmuseum.com is the website. You can go learn more if you want to become a donor there. I'm sure, Mike, you would appreciate any help that folks would like to give there towards being a part of other museums. I know it takes a lot of money to operate a museum.
You know that well. Like I say, it costs money just to keep the lights on. And we've got some future plans, and I've talked to Jason about some things and some other people. Like I say, we've got a security system. We've done everything we can do to properly secure and ventilate or keep the air flowing and stuff like that. But you got to remember, we're talking about a building built in the 1820s and 1850s.
It never ends. It's constantly something that's got to be done. Once you fix it, you got to fix it again.
That's pretty much it. It's definitely called a project.
Well, Mike, let's look at some photographs. I'm going to go through a few here. This was some recent work y'all done on the monument that we'll be dedicating on Saturday, April the 18th. I know a while back, and we showed those pictures with Jordy, the base that you created. Now, this is kind of making the platform that the soldier is going to sit on, correct?
Yeah, that was a couple of Saturday before last where we was pouring the concrete for the form on top of it. Go Jordy, he's on top with the time capsule that we inserted into the center of it. And
there's some of the things. What are some of the things you put in it, Mike?
Put different pins and articles and photographs. The UDC ladies from the Sam Davis chapter, they brought some stuff up. Then SCV and some stuff dealing with the creation of the museum, developed museum, and some of the events. So it's all the above type stuff from there it is, Bradford Rose. See, we've been around since 1993. The camp has. So there's some of that memorabilia in there, a lot of different things. So it's packed pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And there we are putting the steel plate on it to cover that basically 2-foot square hollow cavity in there. That's what the guys are doing there. And you can see that, okay, that's another aerial view of Jordy looking down at the cement crew. We're mixing it wheelbarrows because we got a rhythm down pretty good, and put 2 bags I think we poured 39 bags of concrete that day, 80 pounds a bag.
Wow, it's a lot. And then here's that wide shot again. You can see the base. How tall is that base there, Mike?
I'm 6 foot, so that's probably at least 7 or 8 foot. The base is.
And then the soldiers, what about another 4.5, 5 feet tall?
Soldiers a little less than 6 foot, I believe, be on top of that. And it's right there on the corner. You see that car coming up there on the left. That's basically a 4-way intersection. and the way the new road construction is doing from East Morristown to the museum is 4 miles, and they're widening the road, and that's called Depot Street where you see that car. They're going to widen that road, and all the traffic will come by the museum. Now, here's what I want to explain. You see that monument base, that's going to be an anchor point.
Mm-hmm.
And you look to the left of that monument and you see that power pole and you see a stone right behind that power. That is the UDC monument that the Sam Davis chapter put up in the 1920s or 30s. I'm trying to remember. Well, they relocated that to our property where it's more safe and it's going to be a lot more visible. So what we're doing, we're making our version of Monument Avenue that parallels Depot Street that all.
Let's see, Mike dropped off on us there again. I see Jordy commenting. We'll throw that up on the screen. So 6 foot tall there on the soldier. That'll be on top of that 8 foot pedestal that you see there. And Mike, you're back with us. And I was showing Jordy's comment then that he's saying that soldier is 6 feet tall.
Yeah, and we're going to make our version of Monument Avenue from that base on down to the left there. And you see the UDC Sam Davis chapter stone right next to that power pole that we relocated to the property. And we've got some other ideas of some more monuments and markers that will be there over time.
Lots of work been done, a lot of man hours, a lot of dedication. Again, longstreetmuseum.com. You can go to, Mike, to learn more about the museum. And kind of as we wrap up our conversation tonight, let's jump back to the reunion one more time that you guys are hosting April the 17th and 18th, which is going to be in Morristown. Again, Mike, they can go to TennesseeSCV.org and they can pick up their registration form that you see it there on the screen as well. Fill out that information, get that in, and you've extended that deadline to register.
Yeah, we've extended it to March the 31st to give people sitting on the fence and procrastinators a little more time. Plus, there's some other people that may not know about it, and just trying to give more time to get the word out there. And also, I want to appreciate the sponsors that's helping us on this at the bottom of that. They've been local businesses as well, the tourism. So, and come on, guys, sign up. Let's go.
It's going to be a good weekend. Lots planned. Again, TennesseeSCV.org. If you haven't done that registration, all that information you need is found there. Well, Mike, again, thank you for taking time out to be with us as always. You know, the door is always open as you got things going on. Feel free to let me or Jason know about it, and we'll get you on the show.
Be glad to come back with some more updated pictures. We'll get a little closer. We just need to get the word out to our fellow compatriots and like-minded Southern patriots.
Absolutely. Well, Mike Beck's been our guest this evening here on Tennessee Tuesday. He's past division commander, and I don't know, maybe in a couple of years he might want to do this again. What do you think, Mike?
I'm done. I'm done. I could have climbed that ladder, but I made a decision. I wanted to get this museum solidified.
And you've definitely done that, and it shows your dedication and time you put to it, that it's there and thriving.
Well, just trying to keep it going, and I need everybody's help.
Well, all right, Mike. Well, again, thank you so much. We'll go ahead and we're going to take one more break. I'm going to come back and kind of wrap up with some other division news and some photographs that we have of things that are going on and preview some of our other shows. We'll come back right after this on Tennessee Tuesday on this St. Patrick's Day. It is March the 17th. Thank you for watching. Our Southern heritage is under attack. Whose heritage, some may ask? Well, the heritage of those that love God, their families, and their homes. We must stand together and fight back against those who wish to destroy it. The sons of Confederate veterans regard these attacks as frivolous and are committed to preserve and protect our history. We can't do it alone. We need your help. To learn more about membership, visit TennesseeSCV.org. If not us, who? If not now, when?
There is a place, nestled in the rolling farmland of southern Middle Tennessee. A home constructed in 1837, nearly lost to the ravages of war. Saved by a servant and a Confederate general. A place where families loved and lost. If walls could talk, what stories could be told? If a place, a home, can feel love, loss, pain, surely this is one of those places. Nearby is a more recent structure, and inside are the stories of heroes and heroines, stories of battles won and lost, stories of sacrifices made by the people of its native soil. A place that will tell the true and complete story of the Southland and the war fought for its freedom. From the causes that led to the conflict to the modern-day struggles to protect Southern history. Historic Elm Springs and the Confederate Museum at Elm Springs are the general headquarters for the Sons of Confederate Veterans. A place where the story of the Southland and its historic struggle is preserved and told. Come and discover your history.
And welcome back into Tennessee Tuesday. Hope your evening is going well. And Mike Beck has been our guest this evening, and we've had great conversation about the Tennessee Division reunion that's coming up next month in April. And again, you can go to TennesseeSCV.org if you would like to get registered and get all the details you need. But we want to say a shout out to some other things going on. One of those is coming up this weekend, March the 21st. It's the second annual General Patrick Claiborne and St. Patrick Dinner, being hosted by the Highland Brigade and the Tennessee Division there, and coordinated by Commander Mike Dunn of the Dillard Judd Camp in Cookeville. That will be coming up this Saturday, March the 21st at 6 at the Meadows in Monterey. Again, there's all the details. Thomas Cartwright, a great speaker there. You'll enjoy his presentation. That's going to be coming up this Saturday evening at 6 p.m. And you can reach out to Commander Mike Dunn on social media, and he'll be happy to give you the details, or Jimmy Vincent, who is the brigade commander, and he'll give you all the information you need if you would like to make arrangements to be there coming up this weekend. Also, with yesterday being the birthday of General Patrick Claiborne, we have a special graphic here that we want to share with you tonight, honoring the general who was killed at the Battle of Franklin in November of 1864. And of course, we honor him and his sacrifice for the South. Also, we want to share another event coming up is a CERT training that is going to be held there. You see the details on Saturday, March the 28th, starting at 8:30 at the Munford Cemetery in Covington. Over 200 Confederates are buried there. I've been to that cemetery. They're going to be doing some headstone cleaning and teaching the proper way to do that with the D2 solution, using the Orvis soap to clean and the no harm method. Our CERT training program being hosted by the Simonton Wilcox Camp 257. Again, Wayne Moon is going to be coordinating that event and be the trainer for the day. Of course, he oversees our CERT program in the Tennessee Division. So there's the details. That's coming up on Saturday, March the 28th. It begins at 8:30 if you're interested in going through the training and receiving your certification there as well. Another shout out to our friend Derek Glover, who has been out doing his presentation on antebellum currency. If you haven't heard that presentation, it's definitely a great program, and I believe Derek is getting ready to retire that program as he's got some new ones that he's working on. Again, a shout out to him there. He spoke to the Camp 176, the Otho French Straw Camp in Union City a couple of weeks ago. So there's a photograph of Derek speaking there this evening. Also, Derek has left us a comment here we do want to mention here. And Mike, we're going to put this one up because he's directing this to you. Where can he view the museum's wish list? So if you have needs, Mike, I believe he wants to know how he can help towards that.
Well, that's good. We're updating it right now. So there'll be some handouts in the goodie bags as well as posted at the museum.
Absolutely. And he can reach out to you, I guess, if there's specific things you need and
Yeah,
somebody would like to help.
if they want to, they can reach out to me privately, and also follow us on Facebook. That's another good avenue to follow us. And the museum will be officially opening for the season April the 7th.
Okay. So that's coming up April the 7th. So if you haven't been there and you want to make plans to come up for the weekend there, you can do that as well. Something I got to work on, Mike, this past weekend. Me and Jason Boshears were in, of course, at Elm Springs there for the book festival, and I brought some books home. I think about 40 or 50 books, got a bag full of books, and they sold a whole lot of those and saw several folks, and it was a good time. But while I was there, me and Jason spent some time outside walking the property, and there's a photograph of an excerpt from our video we put together. It's about a 30-minute video, Mike, that me and Jason walk around the property and we talk about the reinterment of General Forrest and the rebuilding and the re-erection of the equestrian statue, as well as the grave sites there. And we go through a detailed breakdown of what's going to happen, what it's going to look like. And you get to see some special things of some of the monument itself that's disassembled now that's on the property. We even went inside the museum as well. So you can go to our Tennessee division or Tennessee Tuesday Facebook page, I should say. And there's that 30-minute video posted that you can watch and go through as we did that on Saturday. Again, there's Jason, a little excerpt from the video as he's telling us about the direction of how the monument is going to be pointed, of course, in the easterly direction, but he breaks that down a little further. And also, we looked there, some other things around the museum related to General and Mrs. Forrest from when they were buried at Forest Park. And we talked about that. So I won't give it all away, but go watch that video. I think you'll find that informative. So I appreciate Jason taking time out Saturday, and we put that video together. Let's see if there's anything we need to mention. I do want to mention once again, this was this past weekend, the Sam Watkins Book Festival. A good time was had by all those that were there and brought several books home. Great speakers. Got to hear some of those. And a shout out here. Got to be there and enjoyed their time at the book festival on Saturday, and was cool meeting a few people and seeing the presentations. Enjoyed that. Got to see a lot of folks, and a good time on Saturday. Adam has done a great work there. And of course, Kayla helping him out on that event as well. And finally, we want to mention this evening, our Tennessee Division SCV tags. So if you haven't got one of those tags for your vehicle in Tennessee, you don't have to be an SCV member to have one of these. Again, just go to your local county clerk's office and request one, and they will get that done. And a portion of those funds come back to the Tennessee Division. And then we also help with many preservation projects, such as some of those at the Tennessee State Museum. And Mike, I know you were a part of this, and when this had not been out too terribly long, and I know it's been a big thing for our division.
Yeah, it's been a lifesaver for this division, how we can do so many projects all across the division. And also, remember, there is a motorcycle tag. We're one of the few that also has the motorcycle tag. And one of the earlier mottos was get a tag, save a flag. When we first started it, and actually the late Skip Earl, who's division commander, he really ramrodded this through the legislatures and stuff, because they sort of changed the rules of engagement on us at the time, from 500 to 1,000 pre-sales. And he really got it across the line. And we've had good stewards of the program ever since, which makes us a huge player in the state of Tennessee when they realize the contributions that we've given back to the state in preservation, education, and interpretation.
Absolutely. And you've seen, and during your time as division commander, some of the artifacts there at the State Museum, we help preserve and conserve. I think of the kepi that was done there. Also, we've done a coat, we've done flags, a variety of different items have been conserved through this donation.
Yeah, and some of those items have made their way to our museum in Columbia. That partnership.
Absolutely. It's been good. It's been a win for everybody. And again, some of those funds that come back to the division help with that. And of course, other projects you see honoring our Confederate ancestors, what those funds do. And It's so important you get those tags. So if you've got one, if you've got a second vehicle, get those. And of course, a portion of those funds come back to the Tennessee division.
And I can't say it enough. Please, everybody that can, whether you're a SEV member or know somebody, your neighbor, friend, tell them about this great program, that it gives back to our heritage and as well as artifacts in the State Museum.
Absolutely. Again, you can get those tags at your local county clerk's office. Just ask for them by name, and they will make those available to you. And Mike, as we get ready to wrap up this evening, I do want to mention our National Confederate Museum at Columbia. We touched on it there of how those artifacts have been on loan from the State Museum, and a great partnership. And of course, when I was there on Saturday, got to take a tour of the museum and got to meet two of the newest staff members that are working on Saturday at the museum there. And two great young ladies, super friendly, very helpful, and it was good to meet them and appreciate the work they're doing, and appreciate Adam's leadership and all the staff at our headquarters. And if you haven't seen the National Confederate Museum, you need to make plans to go to Columbia for the weekend for a few days. There's several sites there, not only the Confederate Museum, you can tour Elm Springs, tour the grounds as well. And then there's other sites in Columbia you can go see as well. So if you like to do a history tour, there's lots of things to see there in Murray County. And again, make sure you go to see the Confederate Museum. Super affordable to get into the museum, and it's a really classy museum. And, you know, Mike, we've all seen museums that are not really done well, but this one is professionally done. If you've been into the State Museum, I'll use that as an example. What you would see, the quality of the exhibits and how it's laid out and set up, you'll find the same thing in our Confederate Museum in Columbia. So very nice museum. Again, those hours, of course, Monday through Friday, we'll put that graphic on the screen, 9 to 4, and then on Saturdays, also 9 to 4. TheConfederateMuseum.com, you can find all those details once again. Well, that's just about going to wrap it up this evening. Mike Beck has been our guest. Mike, any final words you need to leave with everybody?
Just fill out the paperwork since we've extended to the 31st and come and enjoy a great Tennessee Division reunion, and we'll have great fellowship. I can't stress it enough. And check out a museum in East Tennessee about our Confederate ancestors.
Absolutely. Well, Mike, thank you so much. We'll be seeing you soon. I know we'll be talking as we get closer to reunion time, getting everything ready for the big event on Saturday in the business session. Let me say thank you for all your work, Jordy and Josh and everyone else there that has participated in making this possible and getting that monument up. It's going to be a good time.
Appreciate it. And once again, thank you for all the fellow compatriots that's coming already, and get some more.
Absolutely. Well, everybody, that's going to wrap it up for this edition. We will be back. Actually, I will be back with you coming up again on Thursday, as I'm going to be sitting in for Look Around the Confederation. Forrest Dawes, who is running for a position in the National SCV, Army of Tennessee Councilman. He is going to be on with me on Thursday. Usually Harrison, his son, hosts that show, but we thought it would be appropriate, since Harrison's Forrest's son, that he would interview his dad. So I've got the honor to do that on this Thursday evening. So I'll be with you, and then we'll be back for Tennessee Tuesday again next week. So it's going to be a good time the rest of this week. All your programs, don't forget, coming up tomorrow evening, it's going to be Look Around Florida with Sean McFall at 7 o'clock. And then, of course, on Thursday night, I'll have Look Around the Confederation. Friday night, Friends of the Douglas South Hall Freeman with David Pope and that group. That will be at 7 o'clock. And then Sunday night, Hardy on History with Michael C. Hardy happens on Sunday evening. I know he didn't have a show this past week, but again, David Pope has his program on Friday, and David's in the chat. And if David still gets us here, I want to make sure he does have a show this Friday night. Again, you can follow that group, Friends of Douglas South Hall Freeman, and you will be able to watch his show. Very educational. If you go listen to David's program, I promise you, you will learn something you didn't know, and a great discussion David has there. Friday, he says, we're doing an encore presentation on Irish Confederates. So go watch that coming up this Friday. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this edition. Have yourself a great rest of this evening, a great week. Take care, and God bless.
Thank you.